Hey, everybody. Good morning. You know what? Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton finally tied the knot on July 3rd, this past Independence Day weekend, and we salute them for that. And there's that, and there's a whole lot more coming up on today's The Morning Laugh.
Good morning. How many of you people dance to that tune when you hear it? Because, it gets you excited for our show. Because that's kind of weird. It's really early to be dancing. Anyway, we're going to get started right now. Pretty excited here. First up, we have Chris Wineland. Oh, wait. Chris is in the bathroom. We have Josh. Nope. Josh is in the bathroom. Brian Kohatsu. We have Brian. Oh, there he is. All right.
Oh, I was going to go to the bathroom. Oh. All right. I'm good. I'll stay.
This is a cozy, fun little show. Just you and I, Brian.
Yeah. A lot of people say, "Oh, there's Mike and Brian again," and they get sick of us. But not today. No way. So,
so Chris and Josh are both gone. Josh may be joining us in a little while. I'm not sure, but Chris is unavailable. He's been trying to catch up on some other things, and we've got our tour coming up. So that's the other thing that's keeping us very busy, is getting all those numbers together and signing contracts and dealing with agents and writing writers. A writer is the thing that you send to the venue to tell them that we want pure water and
right
things like that. What are the things that you had us add for you, Brian?
Let's see. I wanted Hall's Mentalitis cough drops. 4 of them. Because anything more and you gotta call somebody. That's pretty much that and some hot water, and I'm good to go.
Water, yeah. The only thing I requested is I wanted to make sure that there was somebody to check before I went on stage that I didn't miss a belt loop. That's my fear, that I will have missed a belt loop, and I don't want that to happen. So.
Right, we call that in the writer. That's called the looper.
Yeah,
so which is not a loophole; it's a thing. It's legit. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot of juggling happening at the moment between.
There is. We got a lot of balls in the air.
So we're excited about that actually too. And so while we're talking about it, Mike, we can we can plug that a little bit. The tour there.
Sure.
There it is right there. Generationallyfunny.com.
Yep.
Spell it right.
Tickets are on sale for a couple of the venues right now. So some of them we have to wait just because of our contract with them. There are many other dates that will be coming on there also. So if you go right now to generationallyfunny.com, you'll see some of the dates. There are more coming. We just can't advertise them quite yet. And we are open for a lot more. So we're trying to fill up the whole fall with this tour. So if you want us in your area and you don't see us on there, let us know. And we'll definitely try to work with one of the venues in your area.
Yep. And I know a lot of people are watching this right now going, when all 4 guys are on, there's not so much commercialization going on. So we'll move forward. How about that? It's not like 5 seconds, continue the ad. No. So anyways.
Are you a big fan of Guinness Book of World Records?
I am. As a kid, I was obsessed. I had the book and I'd always look through it all the time.
I'd go back, I'd go through it and through it. And I even had a t-shirt. I vaguely recall a t-shirt, and on it was a picture of a guy walking a tightrope between buildings, and he was the world record holder. Okay, it's a weird shirt to have, but I had that. But I love that. So I was reading today that a man recently broke a new Guinness record. That's the other thing. It used to be records, the ones that I would read, I thought, oh yeah, I could see somebody doing that. Now they have records for everything. Well, this guy balanced a garden hoe on his head for 2.5 hours. That broke the Guinness Book of World Records.
Okay, so before we deep dive into that, we're talking short snout hose or one of the long ones?
This says garden hoe. I assume he had the handle end on his face, not the hoe end on his face.
Right. Because if you have a flat face, that's cheating.
That's right.
I went a month. I
was looking for a picture of it, and I couldn't find a picture of it.
Yeah. But, they're saving that for the book.
It was David Rush, and he said it takes physical and mental stamina to keep an object balanced for that long of time. Mm-hmm. And that's probably true.
Yeah. There's at one point, he had just finished doing some gardening and sat down, cracked open a beer and went, Hey, honey, look. And then
He
flash
tried,
forward.
he tried to balance the hose on his face and the garden hose, and it did not work.
Didn't work. Yeah. Well, more power to him. To have any kind of Guinness Book World Record is pretty good. I know,
Yeah.
Mike, you come from you're a little bit older than me, but I'm sure anyone who's close to our age range remembers the Brady Bunch episode where where Bobby and Cindy tried to beat the world's record.
Yeah.
I believe it was ping pong, right?
Yep, that was right. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yep, and they fell asleep there on the table, and
Oh, that's right.
oh boy, they tried. They tried. They gave it their best.
It was aside from the Joe Namath episode, that was probably the most memorable.
Yeah. No. Oh my nose, Mickey Dolenz. Or not Mickey Dolenz. Davy Jones. I could go on.
Davy Jones. Yeah, that's right. You're right. The broken nose one was probably the most famous.
Yeah, that was my favorite one. Oddly enough, because this is the kind of stuff I remember.
And Jan's date, Joe Glass. What was his first name? Something Glass.
Joe Glass. It was Joe Glass.
Yeah, George Glass.
George Glass.
Okay.
George Glass.
Sorry. Right.
Going back to the Marsha.
Knows what we're talking about.
Going back to the Marsha episode about her nose getting hit. The boy she was trying to go out with was Nicholas Hammond, who was I believe Friedrich in Sound of Music.
Oh, really?
He was one of the boys. He was the oldest boy. Anyways, he was Spider-Man on that horrible 1977-78 CBS version of Spider-Man. he was Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah. So there's your trivia for today, kids. No.
If you needed any Nicholas Hammond trivia, there you go.
This is the place to be. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Right
there he is. Oh, look at that. He's aged well. He looks good.
Nicholas Hammond.
So long, farewell. I felt when you took him out, we should have. So long, farewell. Thanks for stopping by. We have to go because today it's Mike and Bri. Beep, 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 beep. Everything gets a big send off here now because the other guys are gone. We have some time. We have time to do big send offs. So,
which we don't usually because we got so many things to go through. But yeah, we can do the big send offs today. We'll have to do some more. As you're mentioning that, I was thinking we could do a whole hour on Brady Bunch trivia. Brady Bunch was so popular, but I don't know at what generation or what age group it kind of lost. Like Gilligan's Island is the same way. People much younger than me know a lot about Gilligan's Island, but I don't know where the age it starts to fall off to. Okay, now they don't know anything about it.
My kids are not familiar with. We're talking 18 and 16. They're not familiar with Gilligan's Island. They're familiar with what it is. They've never seen an episode. I did, however, try to make them watch it the other day, and they were like, I'm like, give it a try. I mean, I've sat through iCarly. You can give me one episode of Gilligan's Island.
My kids are in their 30s and they've seen episodes of it. They weren't fans. It's not like they saw them like we did, where we saw every episode, but they're familiar with it and have seen it and are familiar with the iconery of it. Is that what the word?
Okay.
Yeah, iconism. No, I don't know what it is. So
no, what's interesting to me is that MeTV, which is syndicated around the country, MeTV on Saturday has a what they call the Gilligan's Island 3-hour tour marathon. So they'll run 3 hours of episodes of Gilligan's Island.
Is MeTV a online service or is that like
no, it's actually it's a syndicated broadcast program.
Oh, really?
But they do.
The reason I ask is because funny. I was thinking about this the other day. People they'll say TV, even though it's an online thing, but it's because they have to say TV because people don't know what they are. So it's not like it was ever like, welcome to NBC TV station. It was just NBC, but now people have to explain.
say it by its rightful name, television station.
Well, I just remember when Brady Bunch and when Gilligan's Island both went to In Living Color. That was a big deal. It's in color now.
Yeah. Gilligan's Island, man, I'm telling you, I was watching the other day and there was two back-to-back what would be deemed today extremely racial and cancel Gilligan's Island episodes.
Oh, really?
Involving Japanese people.
Oh, yeah. I do remember the soldier.
There was a soldier played by an Italian actor with Coke bottle glasses and buck teeth.
Was he really Italian?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, based on the actor, I think it is. And then the other episode was the skipper had got bonked on the head and believed everyone to be Japanese soldiers on the island and locked them all up. And but he would see them as Japanese, and they made them up to be Asian.
Right,
but this was interesting. This is really interesting here. It was a black and white episode that had been colorized, but instead of colorizing them normally, they made them a shade of yellow, which I thought, well, that's Turner Classics taking their own spin on it. Yeah. It was interesting. It was real interesting. So that's when my kids were watching, by the way, and I said, another episode. And
do you know what the skipper's character's real name was? Not the actor, but
Jonas Grumby. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I assumed that Jonas Grumby's background was that he was in World War II, but I don't know that that's the case.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, I don't know what the relation. Here's the deal. Follow me on this, Mike. He had the skipper and Gilligan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Older gentleman, younger guy hanging out, and little buddy, right?
First mate.
Back to the Future. Old guy, young kid hanging out with. It's never explained why Marty and the Doc are friends. Really,
it's true.
He lived next door to him. Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san. Okay, they lived in the same area. That one made a little bit more sense. But you don't catch me hanging out with a kid who's not related to me. Just like, we're just hanging out. Really, that was a thing old people used to do, but it's just you can't.
Jack and Mr. Farley.
Jack, right? Mr. Farley. Mm-hmm. So, Jack, you want to go to the Regal Beagle? Still on some chicks. Yeah.
We were watching. What was it? I was watching the other day, and I said, "This is just a remake of Romeo and Juliet." Oh, I know. It was. Jenny, my wife, is going to see a production of Grease, the musical. Okay. And I said, and I was telling her, "Oh, you're going to get a listen to," and I was naming off some of the songs from that musical, and she goes, "Yeah, I don't know." And I said, "No, that's what they." She goes, "All I know it's a musical." I said, "Well, it's based on like West Side Story, which is based on Romeo and Juliet," but she didn't care. So anyway, I guess that's not as interesting as I thought it was when you said that.
The interesting thing about Grease, I think, and we'll all agree, is that never ever have 30-year-olds played teenagers better.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Great segue. And follow me on this. So, Grease, right? Rizzo, played by Stockard Channing. She was great in that. I was thinking the other day, because the NBA playoffs are going on, or the finals are actually going on right now with Phoenix and our Phoenix Suns and Milwaukee Bucks, or whatever they are. Anyway, it got me thinking that, with that, and they keep playing all the commercials for the new Space Jam with LeBron James. But, is that going to be as good as like you start thinking about basketball movies? So Stockard Channing from Grease was in a movie right after Grease. This is a few years after Grease. She did a movie called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned it to me. I've never seen it. Yeah.
So Julia Serving, Dr. J, great basketball player, legendary Hall of Famer. He's in this movie. He's on a team that's really horrible. And so somewhere along the line, they meet this woman who is an astrologer. And then she decides that, you're a Pisces. And then she starts putting together a team, basically of Pisces around him. And they're all, it's a ragtag team of misfits and whatever. And then they start winning. And then in the end, they go to the finals and they play who else but the Lakers, or they just call them Los Angeles. But it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And it's, anyway, this movie, I saw that movie like 3 times in the theater. Am I the only one who's ever seen this movie? I don't know. So
I've never heard of it. So
yeah, you could Google it.
Usually if there's an obscure movie that I remember seeing, but I know nobody else has seen it, if I tell you, you've seen it.
Yeah. Who else is in this movie? And it's odd, is Jonathan Winters is in this movie.
Really?
Yeah. I think, gosh, I don't recall, but I think Flip Wilson was in the movie too. I think he was the coach.
Was he playing himself or his alter ego?
No, later in the sequel, he's Geraldine, and it's the WNBA team.
I can't remember her name. Geraldine. My dad and I used to watch Flip Wilson, and my dad loved Flip Wilson and the Tonight Show. Both we watched it all the time. So we were talking the other day about Rita Moreno, and because why were we talking about? Oh, the EGOT thing and so forth. But she was in West Side Story, so that's what reminded me of it, because we were talking about that. And she's
there she is.
There she is, Rita Moreno. I just remember her thinking, wow, Rita Moreno and Morgan Freeman made a big deal out of, I mean, they really leveraged their electric companies spot, didn't they?
They oddly taught me how to read. So I'm happy with them.
They taught me there are no cinnamon rolls left.
Yeah.
Not many people will understand that, but that's part of the electric company.
Here's the funny thing too, and this is going to tie in with something you were talking about. We were talking about earlier, off air, as they say in the business. Anyways, but Morgan Freeman was easy reader on Electric Company, and as a little kid, I remember seeing him all the time. And then one day, I was watching a movie as a teenager. I was watching Brubaker with Robert Redford, and then suddenly there was Easy Reader in prison.
Funny you should mention this, Brian. I watched Brubaker today,
and that's just weird to me that out of the blue you watched Brubaker.
I did. Totally out of the blue. I watched it, and as I'm watching, I thought I'd seen it, but as I'm watching, I don't think I've seen this before. And it's a pretty good. It doesn't end in a satisfying way to me, but it's a good movie. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. And Morgan Freeman was great in that movie, because I do recall, like I said, I remember like, that's Easy Reader. What's the deal? And then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, this guy's a really good actor.
Yeah, he was. He's very good in that movie.
Yeah. It's been years since I've seen that movie. Actually, while we're talking about films, let's just go ahead and talk about it now, Mike. I finally saw The Tomorrow War, or Tomorrow War.
I don't want to give any spoilers for this for the people that haven't seen it, but oh my gosh, if you know anything about the space-time continuum, you will be very frustrated with this movie.
Yes, let's do this. We encourage you to. Here's the deal. Here's what I said to my son.
Yeah.
My son was in and out of the room while I was watching, and he goes, "So is it horrible?" And I said, "It's good, but it's not satisfying."
Yeah, it's. I enjoyed the movie, but I really
I had fun watching it,
and I had fun watching it. But there's so much to it. You think, well, why? That doesn't make any sense at all. Not to be too much of a spoiler. This isn't going to spoil it, but there's one part in it where, I mean, the whole premise of the movie is there's a fight in the future, and with aliens, and everyone's dying. So they decide to go into the past to get more people to come to the future to fight, so they can go back and forth between this wormhole or something. Right off the bat, I thought, well, if humans are all dying, the last thing you want to do is go back and get your ancestors and have them die too, because there would be less of you to and have fought. They would be way far ahead. Anyway, that was one of the things. And then, then later in the movie, they have to bring something to the future, but they can't. And I'm thinking, well, just wait around. The future will be there eventually. Yeah. Anyway, that was. So
let's do this. Let's put the challenge out there for everybody. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and watch it.
Yep.
And then next week, and we're going to encourage Chris and I said Novi and Josh when he gets out of the bathroom to watch the film, and then we will do a small roundtable next week. As to, so that should give everybody enough time to not spoil anything, and for enough people to have watched it at this point. So
we will. So just a warning: next week we'll try to curb it, but there will be a little bit of spoiler for that movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it in the next week, and that's going to all 12,000 of our listeners right now. You need to watch this movie, so they're gonna have a big bump in viewership.
There will be a spike for them. Yeah, and then people will be googling time continuum and future paradox and all that. I love time travel movies. I don't like movies that they put time travel in it to fix a problem in the script writing. Yeah, but I like we did in episode 6.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Didn't help the show. Not at all.
Just when we said it was February 5th and it was actually February 6th, it didn't change anything. So anyway, but I was going to say the Back to the Future was one of the best time travel movies, not only because it was so fun to watch, but they really did try to pay attention to, okay, we have to be careful not to change anything because it's going to impact the future.
Right.
And
The whole
so they did a
butterfly
good job. A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree. Yeah. And Tomorrow War, like you'll scratch your head so hard you'll bleed.
there's a lot of questions in that movie.
It's funny because immediately after I watched it, I called Mike and I said to him, he said, well, and I said, I'm still scratching my head. So
Yeah.
if
All right,
we won't talk about it.
Brian knows me well enough to know that when I watch a movie that it frustrates me, I will rant quite a bit about it, and I demand resolution.
So to put an end to the Tomorrow War at this point too, I will just say to you, Mike bombarded me for 3 days straight. Have you seen it yet? Because I need to talk to you about this.
I did, yeah. That happens often.
So we're all good. We're all good. Everyone see it. You'll be entertained, and you'll be like, "Huh?" But put 2 hours and 15 minutes of your time aside.
Yeah. Do you ever play the lottery, Brian?
I kind of only play it when it's out of control.
Yeah. If it's like hundreds of millions or something every once in a while. I've been given tickets as like gifts, like lottery too. Yeah. I always wonder if I actually won big, do I owe anything to the person that gave it to me?
Right. I'm sure there's been a lawsuit somewhere.
So there's a guy, this happened many, many times. But a guy won $1 million lottery and then he won it again. So twice. But I know there's some people that have won not just like the $30, $40 things or 100,000, but millions multiple times through different lotteries. I couldn't imagine.
I knew a guy, he's passed away since, but he won the lottery twice. He first won it in an office pool where all of them played their numbers.
All right.
And then 5 years later he won one on his own. So
yeah, this guy's in Massachusetts. It's his second $1 million win.
Wow.
Trying to figure, in 4 years. So within 4 years, I wonder if he'd spent all his money the first time yet.
Yeah, he really needed it. I need this. What's crazy is I saw a story years ago. It was on Inside Edition. It was about this guy, and I believe it was Scotland. He went and he played a scratcher, and he won like $75,000 or something like that. It was a big deal. So they did a little story on him, and they did a recreation, And while he's doing the recreation, he scratches it, and then he won $150,000, something like that. Or it might be flipped or whatever. But it's like, when he's doing it, I remember watching the guy. He's like he almost fainted. He's like, I just won another 100,000. They're like, what? All legit. Weird. This happens sometimes for people. I'm lucky if I win 2 games of Uno.
Yeah. About a month ago, we had a Father's Day show. The 4 of us. It was a lot of fun. But at the end of the show, for fun, we decided to do our best dad joke. Mm-hmm. So we all did one. The dad joke is, well, everybody knows what they are. They're just kind of a cheesy joke. Typically, dads tell that everybody can enjoy. Apparently, in the United Kingdom, they had a competition for the best dad joke ever. Do you want to hear what it is? And tell me if you agree with this. So this was the joke.
Okay.
I once hired
As
a limo.
A father and comedian.
Yes. This one. Now, I'll tell you in a minute, but here's the joke. Okay. I once hired a limo, but when it arrived, the guy driving it walked off. I said, "Excuse me, are you not going to drive me?" The guy told me that the price didn't include a driver. So there I was. I had spent $400 on a limo and have nothing to chauffeur it. Almost all the dad jokes end up with a play on words at the end. It seems like so many of them.
But I'll tell you what, on, that's a long journey to get to that, and it was worth it. So,
I don't know. I think that is certainly no better than how the chicken crossed the playground, which that was yours, I think, on that show, wasn't it?
That was mine. Yeah, well, it was my daughter.
So
my daughter actually wrote that or something.
Again, just kind of a play on word thing, but much quicker and faster, much quicker to the punch, much better, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know.
Man, you know what though? It was in the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom, they have different words for some things, so they probably don't call it a slide. They probably call it a Sir Winston get down quick or something like that. Yeah. They have weird names.
And it's probably not even chicken.
They call elevators lifts, so maybe they call slides like drops.
Yeah, or the flute. I don't know.
It's the butt flute. That's what
You would have the butt flute. You see that? You see what I did there? Why did the chicken cross the area of the play to get down the flute down the butt flute? Dead of the year.
It just doesn't have the same impact. Oh my gosh. Man. So what's one of your biggest fears in the house, Brian? My fears in the home are things like something catching on fire, of course. Things like that. But my wife would say like insects or things like finding scorpions in the house or something like that, which happened. A lot of people have this fear that a snake is going to come up and bite them on the toilet. I've heard that from many people. Well,
I didn't grow up a good kid, so I saw Porky's.
Oh yeah,
and I believe wasn't there a snake in the toilet in Porky's?
Yeah, I think so. Oh man, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah,
I saw Porky's many times because I was the same as you. I saw it even though I shouldn't have. I'll just leave it at that. It's a horrible movie.
I found Porky's before I found God. Let's put it that way. So
yeah,
but
it's a horrible movie.
Yeah, no, that snake thing is very disturbing. Like that, and then like in my neighborhood, I've got there's been a few rattlesnakes. Like when you're area. It's funny too because not everybody in Arizona deals with that issue, and I never dealt with it before until moving.
It's funny, when I moved to Arizona, I had talked to you. You've lived here your whole life, and I've been here 25 years. But I remember a long time ago, I talked to you, and you said at that point you'd never seen a scorpion.
No, not in my house.
But every place we've lived here, we've had scorpions. But you've seen them now because you've moved.
Yeah, I moved further out of the city, but so I see them periodically, not often. But I had one recently that I posted on Facebook. Somehow one ended up on my bumper, and it was hanging onto my bumper. It was like, in my opinion, it was like the movie Alien, but it was a tiny alien hanging on. Luckily I was inside. I'm okay, everybody. Is what I'm saying. But they're creepy animals there. Anyway, so the snake thing, I've had rattlesnakes on our property a few times. I've caught them behind the garbage can sleeping. I've seen them stretched out on the gravel in their yard. I like that you say caught them. Like, hey, I see you behind that trash can.
Hey, what are you napping? It's the middle of the day.
They're just going mad.
You got time to lean, you got time to clean.
Wait, let me get my rattlesnake stick.
Anyway, and by the way, you're not supposed to kill rattlesnakes, at least in the state of Arizona. I don't know if that's national or not, but
I think it's illegal.
To kill them.
Yeah,
I will admit to have broken the law there. I've killed several rattlesnakes because I don't know what else to do.
You're not supposed to kill them, Mike, but you can reason with them. I'm gonna need you to leave.
I didn't kill them. Well, I did. The end result was their death. I removed their heads with a shovel.
But in your defense, Mike, because I've heard the story, he drew a gun. And
he did. He drew first. It was self-defense. It was.
I will tell you this. Years ago, I was doing a video shoot for the Phoenix Zoo, and it was right around the time where GPS became a big thing. And we were doing all these little videos of different animals. So you could walk the park with a GPS. And when you got to like the giraffes, you pop the little giraffe thing and it tell you a little video about giraffes. Okay. And I'm having a wonderful day shooting because I'm at the zoo and I'm getting paid for it, right? Giraffe's head comes down, like literally kisses me and looks at me and then goes away. That was fun. We get to the snake thing and I'm behind glass, I am so freaked out and zoomed in on the snake's head. And then it starts just creeping up on the glass toward my head. And I told everyone, if this thing strikes the glass, I'm going to scream like a woman and I will run out of this place and I will not be embarrassed a bit. Luckily it did not, but man, it's just something about snakes just
gross. They're gross. We were eating dinner at a restaurant here in town and outside on a patio, and there was a ruckus. I turned around and look, and just 10 or 15 feet away from us, there's a rattlesnake coiled up, striking at a roadrunner. This roadrunner is trying to eat the rattlesnake. Apparently, that's a thing that they do.
Yeah.
And they were having this all-out battle, and we were like, kind of jumping up from our table, like, whoa, it's pretty crazy. But the reason I asked all that is because there was a man that did get bit by a python while sitting on his toilet. His neighbor had a pet python. It got out, went down into the sewage system through his toilet, and came up and bit this man on the genitals.
Okay.
While he was sitting on the toilet. I would be afraid to sit on the toilet for the rest of my life.
Anytime I hear, because I've heard stories about that before in the past, and it always makes me think, what snake? What snake? Things like, what's in here? I can get out this way. And then proceeds going, this is a long hallway. And then finally it's like, I don't think there's a door around here. Finally sees light. And then the first thing he sees is, ugh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all snakes are Andy Dufresne. Like, oh, I got out of Shawshank. The snake gets out, and then of course somebody comes and gets the snake, arrests it, and puts it back in a cage somewhere. Like, oh yeah, he got out again. Was this a neighbor snake? Is that what you said?
It's a neighbor. Yeah, it turns out it was a neighbor snake. I don't know if it was his immediate next door neighbor, but somewhere in his neighborhood. And it was where was it? I can't remember where it was now. I think it might have been in Britain also. I don't recall. Speaking of that, though, Houston police put out a public statement warning residents they should not keep exotic predatory animals in their homes. Thanks a lot, Victor.
This is Victor. I think this actually stems too from the story last week of the cobra zebra snake.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that was Raleigh. I take that back. That was Raleigh, North Carolina. And but update, that snake has been apprehended. There was a standoff with police and a negotiation, and the snake was finally brought down. The interesting thing about that story is there was actually a news reporter who had showed up to the house to do an interview, and they were kind of rolling as she walked up the steps. And as she walked up the steps off to the side, you saw this little head come up, and she was like, and then she immediately walked back down. So then cops were called. They lost it for about a half an hour, and then they found him. But that's a big ugly snake.
Yeah.
Cobra?
Oh, I mean,
that's a cobra.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if they had a flute, though, they could have charmed it.
Sure. In a heartbeat.
I only picture cobras, and I don't know if you can do that with other snakes. I don't even know if you can really do it with a cobra, but that flute thing where they come up. When I was in Thailand, I used to go to these when I was in the service, we'd be in Thailand, and I'd go to these public things where they do kickboxing normally, but between boxing matches, they would often have a guy come out with cobras, and then he was called a snake charmer, and he would like use his hands to kind of get him to calm down, and then he'd eventually capture him and throw him back in his bag. But that's dangerous.
It's funny that you even say this right now, because it was in my feed this morning. There was an old wrestling clip of a guy. I don't even know who posted it. It was a guy in the middle of the ring, a wrestler, and he's got like his arm is green. I think it's even a sock. And he goes like it's a snake, right? And then they cut over, and one of the wrestlers has a flute, and the guy's like hypnotized, and he runs over to the other side to attack the other guy, and that guy whips out a flute and then starts playing it, and the guy's like, and then it ends with him in the corner like you gotta give props to wrestling. I mean, that is horrible entertainment, but it's the best entertainment that you can see for free. That's ridiculous.
That's hard to believe. Because most wrestling, I believe completely, but that's making me question some of it.
Football's fake, but
well, yeah, obviously.
Wrestling.
I was watching something on television. Who is it? There's a guy. He's a celebrity, like a movie star, a younger guy, and he started doing wrestling and won the championship or something. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
I got to look this up now.
Unless his name is Dwayne The Rock.
No. He became a star after. Oh, David Arquette. David Arquette won the WWE. Yep.
Well, that just proves it's not fake.
Yeah.
He's quite the specimen.
Apparently, it caused quite a disturbance in the force. He lost it 2 weeks later or something. But there's a documentary about him and his whole life and how this impacted his career and everything, and it's ruined a lot of stuff for him. But yeah, apparently he did this he was promoting some wrestling thing, maybe a movie he was in or something, and ended up going and wrestling in these quote unquote legitimate matches and won the world championship.
Huh. I don't know how I missed that one, Mike.
I'm telling you, it's a whole documentary about it.
I believe it. Huh. Well,
he even has his wife Courtney Cox is in it, talking about how this was a huge mistake that he even did this. It made a joke of everything, and it ruined a lot of credibility.
His former wife.
Yeah.
But I hear they're doing another Scream movie, so he'll be okay. He'll be all right. Yeah. He's got some money coming, is what I'm saying.
David Arquette. David.
I was going to say, I haven't heard the name David Arquette in quite a while. And hey, if you're watching The Morning Laugh or listening, this is where you get it. David Arquette news.
If you need an update on David Arquette or Victor, this is where you get it.
You know, Mike, what's going on in Roseanne Arquette's life right now? You got any updates on Roseanne?
I don't.
Arquette?
I'll have to do some research. Maybe next week we'll have that.
Okay, great. All right. Watch some huge breaking story. That'd be great. Who knows? She set a Guinness Book of World Record for most snakes out of a toilet.
For balancing garden tools on her face.
She's going to be starring in the new movie version of Gilligan's Island.
They have tried to recapture the magic of that a couple of times, but they did it. One was a reality show. Did you ever see that? The Gilligan's Island reality show?
I remember the reality show.
That was a huge mistake. But it seems like there's been other efforts. There are certain shows like that, I think. I wonder why they haven't ever tried to remake those.
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island could be a good show if they did it right,
I always saw a younger Fred Armisen as Gilligan. I think would have been really funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They kind of have the same kind of, their faces kind of do the same thing.
I remember watching the rescue episode of Gilligan's Island years after it stopped airing. They had a TV special, I think, and they got rescued, and it was so disappointing to watch.
You call it a TV special? I called it breaking news at the time. I'm like, what is Mom? Shh. What is happening? They're getting off the island. If you recall, it was rescue from Gilligan's Island, and then at the end of it, they ended up back on the island, and then there was Return to Gilligan's Island.
Do you remember what network that was on? Gilligan's Island.
NBC. Well, originally it was on CBS, but those movies were NBC.
Okay, CBS used to receive letters from people inquiring about how they can help rescue the people on this island.
Yeah,
because they thought it was real. I don't know how they thought there was news crews and camera crews there to film it, but it's crazy.
The only camera was the satellite that landed that one time, and then the film camera, the silent film camera they found that they were going to record and put that on a raft. And then, of course, the tar and feathering happened.
I just remember when a telephone line washed up on shore.
It's because of the tsunami.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or typhoon. It's either typhoons or tsunamis going through the island.
As many questions as that raises, that they were close enough to a telephone line that it washed up on shore, but they couldn't get rescued. As many questions as all that raises, still better continuity than the Tomorrow War.
Yeah.
Future War. Is that it? Tomorrow War or Future
Tomorrow War? Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have to agree with you on this one.
Insane.
Speaking of Gilligan's Island, the third movie and the final movie was Gilligan's Island Meet the Harlem Globetrotters, because that's the right thing. That's how you end Gilligan's Island. Because they turned the island into a resort. I don't know if you recall that. Thurston Howell IV showed up and was helping his father. And they created a resort for the people.
I just think how cool
and Gilligan, and it's NBA. NBA's going on right now. Everybody's very excited. And then Gilligan was the first person to ever perform the full body slam dunk. Do you recall that at the end of the movie?
I don't remember, but
there was a whole thing with the Globetrotters had to play this team. I don't know if it was to save the resort or something, but yeah, Gilligan, boop, boop, full body slam dunk. Never been done before.
It's a whole.
And actually, now that we're talking about this, I saw 2 days ago the Harlem Globetrotters actually filed paperwork to become a legitimate NBA team. Did you hear that?
No, are you kidding?
I swear,
That's
but
awesome.
I don't think it's the first time they've ever tried to do that before, though. I think early on, my dad told me years ago.
They do realize that in the NBA, you're not allowed to throw buckets of confetti on people, right? Because
I think, well,
they
not
break
with
a lot of rules.
Not with timeout. Let's go to the monitor.
Yeah.
We deem the confetti legal. It is a regular foul of shenanigans.
We do find a personal foul on Curly for poking the eyes of his competitor.
We've got number 22 with confetti to the face. That's 2 shots.
Oh my gosh.
Triple dribble, number 3. Triple dribble.
We're going to have to go to the officials on this. They're not sure if we're allowed to bring a ladder onto the court.
LeBron is livid. 2 players on each other's shoulders.
Oh my gosh.
Are players allowed to wear trench coats onto the court? I don't know. Actually, I think we need the Globetrotters at this point.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I recall my dad used to take us to see the Globetrotters when we were kids all the time. And Curly Neal, I remember they just passed him the ball half court on the corner of half court, and just he drilled 3 in a row, no problem. So I'm all for bringing the Globetrotters in. You could 3 threes in a row like that. Someone, and you're just gonna let them. I'd let them shoot at half court. Go ahead all day. Not that
in related news, Jerry Lewis is petitioned to become a licensed hotel concierge.
Lady, you need more soap. That's a great movie, by the way. The Bell.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, because he doesn't say a word in it.
That phone ringing thing is just genius. It's hilarious.
There's a lot of great visual gags in that movie. Yeah. If you've ever seen that documentary on something of the genius, I forgot what it's called with Jerry Lewis. It's fantastic, man. There's so many sight gags, and it talks about, and then from a film perspective too, talking about use of sound, and he goes over all that stuff. No sound, face, physical. Somebody was talking about him driving the car in the one scene. The car's like, they said he could even drive a car funny. I don't know how you drive a car funny, but it was the weirdest staccato driving that I've ever seen.
Yeah. I remember seeing that clip and hearing a commentary about that same thing, and being able to and the way he pulled up to the hotel or wherever it was just like, yeah. Anyway, well, let me ask you this, Brian. What did you do for the 4th of July?
We're pretty quiet people. So we sat out front and we watched all our neighbors.
You lit off fireworks, but you covered them in something so they couldn't make noise.
We just so they're quiet. They go. Our new neighbors who moved in about 4 years ago. I don't know where they buy their. I'm not going to call it ammunition. It is some of the loudest stuff I've ever heard in my entire
life. Where they buy their arsenal.
I mean, by the time he launches it, it's directly above me across the street where I'm sitting. So it's like, boom. It's funny. I see people in neighborhoods firing off the stuff that's like commercial grade. Like, where do you get that?
Yeah.
Which they're not supposed to have,
no.
I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we shouldn't have it and poo it. But, we're in a desert, man.
Yeah,
we got enough fires around us as it is, and then
luckily we had rain yesterday, so if there was any smoldering stuff, it got wiped out. Most of the state had rain. What do you have the typical 4th of July cuisine? Hot dogs and pineapple. I was gonna say pineapple. I meant watermelon, but whatever.
Most years we do. This year, my wife wanted to try something different, so she made and this was a controversy. She made this chicken chili. And I did not like the recipe. It was in a crock pot, and she left me the ingredients, and I was going, I don't think this is right. This ain't gonna taste right. All day long, I kept calling her saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I like it. You're just sitting there staring at the crock pot. She's left there cooking while she's off at work. You're calling her. Hey, I don't want to bother you. I know you're in a meeting, but
well,
I don't know about this chili.
Well, and then the girl who gave her the recipe is the girl she works with, and she was there. And I'm like, she's standing next to you? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna say too much.
On the other end of that conversation is just your wife and this woman, and she's saying, "No, my husband's calling again about the chili."
And pretty much,
and they're going, I guess it wouldn't be that much fun being married to a comedian.
I know. So, is there a bit in here? No, there's not. I'm not. I don't agree with it.
My wife gets that all the time. God, it must be so fun being married to a comedian like that. Oh yeah, it's a hoot.
Got all these chili worries. Anyways, end of the story is by the time we ate it, at first I was like, I don't think I like it. And then by, I don't know, halfway through the bowl, I was like, this is not bad. And then it got better over the week. So
did you have seconds? Did you eat more of it?
I did, unfortunately.
See? So it won you over.
It was good. But it's the world's simplest recipe. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'll just tell you real quick. Chicken breasts, and then a whole thing of salsa. And then
that sounds like chicken. That sounds like dip, not chili.
I know. A few spices, and then what do you call it? Some beans. That's it.
What do you call it?
Whatever. And
they're beans. Yeah, that's it.
Surprisingly delicious. Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, normally people have hot dogs and things on 4th of July.
Yeah.
I was trying to lead you into the hot dog conversation because I'm curious, if you have a hot dog, what do you put on your hot dog, Brian?
Me? I do mustard and relish, and that is it.
What about onions or something like that? Just mustard and relish?
You
don't like onion. You're not an onion fan.
I don't like onion. I'm not a fan of onion.
I love onions. So I will. Normally, I'll just put mustard on because that's what's around. But if I have relish, I'll do that. And then I do like onion on mine. But we had at a neighbor's house, and they had hot dogs. I didn't even have any of the hot dogs. But their kid came up and got a hot dog, and then he put ketchup on it. Brian, ketchup. On a hot dog. I mean, I'm pretty liberal with the hamburger condiments, but
sure.
Hot dog. That's American. You don't put ketchup on a hot dog.
How old was this child?
Well, in my mind, he was just an infant because who else would do this? But I would say probably 13, 14, 15.
I'm going to call social services because this is ridiculous.
Here it comes. I'm saying it to you right now.
Okay, good.
You get it?
It's going down because...
Well, that's the worst thing. He put this ketchup on, and I'm thinking, oh my God. Well, he's around 13, 14 years old. I'm thinking, what? But the worst thing is I look over at his parents. They don't do anything. They didn't do anything about it. They just just let him put ketchup on a hot dog. Go ahead and let him kick a cat.
Yeah.
Or smash a mailbox.
Mm-hmm. Run around the corner. Run around the corner and start vaping.
Yeah,
hot dog. That's a gateway condiment.
Ketchup on hot dog. Yeah, next thing you know, he's going to be putting ranch on everything, and I don't want to get into it.
That kid probably puts ketchup on eggs.
Yeah, it's just how can you do that to a hot dog?
Here's the crazy thing. I remember as a kid. I remember at one point a hot dog having ketchup on it, and I remember as a kid going, "That's not right." I was little too, and I even tried it once and went like, "I don't get it. It's disgusting." And then most kids, I think to a degree, people grow out of that ketchup thing, like ketchup, whatever. But my brother's ex-wife, she used to put ketchup on everything, steak.
Oh, that's a crime. It's funny. I like ketchup. I dip my fries in ketchup. I like it on a hamburger, but for some reason on a hot dog, it just ruins it. I won't eat it. It'll be like you've ruined hey, I've been a witness to Mike's love of ketchup on a French fry. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's more than I've seen anyone ever use for French fries.
Well, the thing is, I don't feel like I put too much on my fries. I just make sure I have enough there so I don't run out.
So let me just explain to the folks watching and those listening at home. So like a Big Mac box, okay, you open it up, right? And then one side's the burger and the other side's empty. Mike will fill that other side. It's just like he pumps.
Yeah.
And then he stops and goes, "Excuse me, we're out of ketchup. I need some more." And then they'll swap it out and then
I don't want to run out.
Yeah. And then sometimes Mike just goes, "Boink, boink. All right, let's go." And I'm like, "But there's so much ketchup left."
It's true. I am a ketchup waster. It's because I don't want somebody coming behind me and using that ketchup for a hot dog. I'm trying to rid the world of ketchup.
You're only helping the world.
I am.
Hey, that reminds me, if you want, this is a great gag to do, and I've done it a couple times. Next time you're at Taco Bell and the kid behind the counter is not really paying attention to you enough, just when you start ordering, order a hot dog and watch them search for the button. I've done it twice, and the kid goes,
"They look for it.
We don't have that." I said, "You've never had it." So that's the kind of dad jokes I do with my kids. No, my kids hate it now, but because they're 18 and 16. So I'm what am I? I'm a terrible person. That's what I am.
And once again, that's just scratching the surface of what you can find at generationallyfunny.com. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Smooth segue, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That segue is so good, it should be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Ooh, a callback too.
And
so do you remember a week or two ago, this guy, William Amos, a Canadian minister of something up there, he was doing a Zoom call with the parliament, and I don't know how this all transpired, but ultimately he ended up walking across the camera on his Zoom totally nude. He happened to have his cell phone in a strategic place so you couldn't see the gentles. but yeah, that it was like hugely. He apologized. It's like, and I think, well, that was stupid. But I see you forgot your camera was on. You did something else, and who knows, whatever. Totally embarrassing. This week, 1 week later, William Amos, Canadian, appeared naked in virtual meeting again with the parliament. This time, urinating. I don't know where his camera is or how it's situated in his home. I don't know what's going on there, but so he's resigned now from. Well, no, I guess he's still holding the office. I don't know. He said something about he's stepping from his duties, but he's still going to represent the people or something. I don't know. Anyway,
Zoom did me in. That Zoom
will get you.
It's in my house. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. Well, at least he didn't turn into a cat. So
I'm prepared for the meeting.
I'm prepared to proceed, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's what I was prepared to proceed. So then any famous celebrity weddings or anything, Brian, that you know of?
No, just the one at the top of the show. The Blake Shelton.
That's right. You mentioned this.
So
they were on the
Kirstie Alley. No, it's not Kirstie Alley. It's Gwen Stefani. So
sister of Kirstie Alley. I have never I shouldn't say that. I've seen the Voice. Okay. Were they on the View also? Maybe, I don't know.
Sure, maybe I'm sure they have appeared.
They were both on The Voice, and I remember watching that a long time ago. It was kind of a fun show. We used to watch a lot of the singing competition shows, but haven't really seen any in a long time. But they were both on that show, right? Wasn't that?
They were both on the show. Met on the show. He happened to have just gotten divorced, and then I guess they just started hanging out, liked each other, and then it just evolved into eventually a marriage. So, which is kind of cool. A lot of people are saying too that their marriage and their relationship alone really kind of just shows two different worlds coming together and getting along, kind of just a very symbolic, couple. But
they're going to have I hear they're going to have a TV show. He's going to be a little bit country and she's going to be a little bit rock and roll.
Right. But actually he's a lot country and she's a lot rock and roll. Probably would be the opposite. Whatever.
You're right. You're right.
I don't watch tennis, so I don't know. But that's cool. That's good for them. That's probably one of the the most exciting like weddings since Agent 86 and 99. I mean, I'm just throwing out. I don't know.
Yeah. I like how with Agent 86, the Get Smart wedding, where the best man was Agent 40. I can't remember what his number was, but he was always in the mailbox or something.
Oh,
Remember?
I had it before you said it. Then you made me forget what it was. Yeah.
It's 40.
Yeah. The guy. Actually, I think Jaime the robot was the best man.
Oh, Jaime the robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He also had a dog. Wasn't he an agent in that show?
I forgot what the dog's name was. I'm confusing it right now with the one episode where Barney Fife had a dog. Barney Fife had a dog for a couple episodes. But Jaime the robot was the best man, played by Dick Gautier.
Wow.
See, I'm a wealth of nothing information.
You got it all, man.
That's my job. See, right now, if Chris was here right now, Chris would be like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Why is he talking about this?
Why does he say we're talking about getting smart, and then he's talking about these agent numbers? I don't get it.
And then numbers?
It was a show about math.
Is he buying insurance?
Is this a crypto thing he's talking about?
I mean, remember that one time we talked about Hogan's Heroes, and he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It's Nazis. It's Hitler. It's funny. Trust us. We didn't write it. Don't blame us. Well, we're getting toward the end of the show there, Mike. We made it an hour.
Boy,
the
time
two of us.
flies.
And
Time
you
flies.
and viewers like you. You know, you're what keeps PBS on the air. And
What's the board look like right now, Brian?
you know, believe it or not, right now we're at $8,372. And if you order now, in the tote bag will include this back scratcher.
Ooh.
And rattlesnake machine.
What does that have a rattle on it? Oh, that's
So-
a rolling thing for your back.
Yeah, it's a rolling thing. And I will tell you real quick, Mike. My father, this was my father's, when he died, he willed this to me. And it's the greatest thing because no one in my family will scratch my back when I need it. My dad knew that.
I would like to know how detailed your father's will was, that it would broke all the way down to a old back scratcher.
There were a lot of notes.
Really?
There are a lot of little notes like that. Really, it's funny. That and a couple pictures, but other than that,
okay, that's really funny.
I'll tell you what, if my sister sees this, she's going to be outraged. What is that back scratcher?
Well, what do we have coming up, Brian?
Let's see. A lot of it is this generationally tour. Funny tour. Yeah, we've it's kind of stolen most of our attention. Yeah, so which is fine because actually it gives us more opportunity to see a lot of you guys in your cities, wherever you may be, wherever you're watching us. Hopefully we're coming out to your city. So there are more dates coming on that site. There's only a few up right now, so we're still confirming a lot of the other stuff, but it'll be up soon. Soon.
We'll be up soon. The tickets are available. There's tickets available for the Peoria show at the end of September, and then the end of August, sorry. And then starting in September, the other shows are available. But I think you can get tickets right. Yeah, you can get tickets right now for the Chicago one at Willow Creek Church. So,
yep.
So if you're out in that area, or you're going to be out in that area, or if you just want to travel to that area to see our show,
I think that would be totally cool if you wanted to travel up to Chicago and watch the show, because it's going to be a good show. And there's a lot of seats. Tickets are already up, and we've already sold some tickets. So.
Yeah, they're going quick, people. They're
going quick. So, so we got that going on. I know everybody's got a few dates here and there outside of the norm, but other than that, everything else I think is tour related. And I got my improv class going on, Mike. That's ridiculous. That's great.
If you've ever been interested in performing comedy of one sort or another, improv is the way to go to start. That's how Brian and I both started that way, and it's definitely the best skill to start with.
And it's a lot of fun. But you get some good skills out of it. And then,
And you can take Brian's class. Where do they go? StirCrazyComedyClub.com for that?
Yeah, but actually my class is sold out. And
never mind. You cannot take Brian's class.
So I apologize. So
it is a very good skill to have, and you should all have it. Unfortunately, you can't have it because it's sold out. So
apparently, I feel good about being a sellout. So
you're for those of you wishing, we apologize. Your life will be less than it could have been because of this.
Yeah. So, but yeah, maybe someday we'll maybe I'll offer a online class, improv class.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
That way we can reach out to everybody.
You know what? Just do, you can do it whenever you want. You don't have to plan ahead. You can just improvise it and just do it.
Yeah. That's the great thing about improv. Maybe I already did it. I don't even know it.
Maybe we're doing it right now.
Maybe it's happening right now. So, all right.
Mike,
well,
that's it for today. I don't, that's it. Make sure you check out themorninglaugh.com. Definitely go to generationallyfunny.com. And
Tomorrow War. Go watch the Tomorrow War.
Yes.
And next week we'll talk about it.
We want to talk about it. And so you're going to have to go watch it now.
So today, watch it. And tomorrow we'll talk about it.
That's right.
A week from. Okay. So, all right. That's it.
All right. Adios, everybody.
Right. Good morning, everybody.